My name is Daniel Carter, and this happened to me on a road I had driven dozens of times before. It was supposed to be a normal night drive. I left the city later than planned. A little after 11 p.m., the highway was almost empty, which wasn't unusual for that time. I remember thinking it was actually relaxing. No traffic, no noise, just the sound of the engine and the road passing under the headlights. About an hour into the drive, my phone lost signal. I didn't panic. That happens on that stretch of road. What bothered me was the silence that came with it. No radio signal either. Just static. I turned it off. That's when I started to notice how empty everything felt. No other cars, no trucks, no lights in the distance, just asphalt and darkness. I kept driving, trying not to think about it, until I saw a gas station sign ahead. The lights were on. That alone felt strange, because I knew most places closed at night out there. I slowed down and pulled in. The station looked wrong. The lights were bright, but there were no cars, no movement. The convenience store door was closed, but the interior lights were on. I stayed inside my car for a moment, engine running. I don't know why, but I didn't want to get out. After a few seconds, I told myself I was being stupid. I stepped out, and the night air felt colder than before. Too quiet. Even the insects were gone. I walked toward the store. That's when I noticed something that made my stomach tight. The door was unlocked. I pushed it open slightly. It creaked loudly, echoing inside the empty store. The shelves were stocked. Everything looked normal, but there was no one there. No cashier, no employee, no sign explaining anything. I said hello without realizing it. My voice sounded wrong in that space, like it didn't belong there. I waited. Nothing. I turned around and left. I didn't buy anything. I didn't even close the door behind me. I just wanted to be back in my car. As I drove away, I checked the mirrors. For a split second, I thought I saw headlights behind me. But when I looked again, there was nothing. I told myself it was my imagination. 10 minutes later, my fuel warning light came on. That shouldn't have happened. I was sure I had enough gas. I slowed down and eventually pulled over to the side of the road. No shoulder lights, no emergency lane, just darkness beyond the white line. I stayed inside the car. The engine idled, then stalled. Complete silence. I tried the ignition, nothing. That's when I realized how isolated I really was. No signal, no cars, no sound. I looked ahead at the road. The headlights were still on, illuminating a short stretch of asphalt. Beyond that, there was nothing but black. Then I noticed something else. Tire marks, fresh ones. They stopped right where my car was. I stared at them for several seconds, trying to understand how that was possible. Had another car stopped here recently? Why would anyone stop here? My heart started beating faster. I locked the doors. I don't know how long I sat there, but eventually I saw something reflect the light in the distance, very faint, like metal. I leaned forward, squinting. It looked like another car, parked farther down the road, no lights on, completely dark. I hadn't seen it when I stopped. That's when I felt it that deep, instinctive feeling that something was wrong. I didn't get out, I didn't honk, I didn't turn off the headlights, I just sat there watching the road. After a few minutes, my engine suddenly started again. I didn't question it. I drove. I didn't slow down until I reached the next town. I never stopped on that road again. And sometimes, when I drive at night, I still think about that gas station with the lights on, the door unlocked, and no one inside. My name is Michael Hayes, and this happened on a road I should have reached the end of. I left just after midnight, later than I had planned, and I remember sitting in the car for a few seconds before starting the engine, checking my phone, making sure everything felt normal. I knew the route well. I had driven it dozens of times before. A long highway cutting through empty land. Nothing complicated, just hours of driving and darkness ahead. The night was clear, no rain, no fog, and at first it felt almost peaceful. The kind of quiet that helps you relax and settle into the drive. After about an hour, I started to notice how empty everything felt. Not just empty in the usual way, but unusually empty. I hadn't passed a single road sign in a long time. No exits, No mile markers, no distant lights, just asphalt stretching forward into darkness. I checked the dashboard, then the clock. Everything seemed fine. Time was moving normally. The car was working perfectly, but the road felt endless, and that feeling slowly tightened in my chest. That's when I noticed the curve, a soft bend to the right. Nothing strange about it at first. I followed it without thinking, watching the headlights sweep across the road. But 10 minutes later, I saw the same curve again. The exact same one. The same guardrail, the same crack on the asphalt, even the same reflection where the light hit the road. I told myself it was just another curve that looked similar, but my hands tightened on the steering wheel. I checked the clock again. 15 minutes had passed. That didn't make sense. I should have been far away from that spot by now. I pressed the accelerator, feeling the engine respond, trying to convince myself that I was just tired, that my mind was playing tricks on me. I focused on the road, counting the seconds, watching the lines pass under the headlights, but the unease didn't go away. That's when I saw the rest stop. Its lights were on, glowing in the darkness, and the parking lot was completely empty. I didn't remember it being there. I slowed down as I paused, scanning the place, expecting to see at least one car or some movement. But there was nothing, just the building, the lights, and silence. As I drove past, I noticed the lights flicker for a brief moment, and a chill ran through me. 5 minutes later, I saw the same rest stop again. Same building, same broken sign, same flickering light. That's when panic really hit me. There was no denying it anymore. I wasn't moving forward. I was stuck, looping through the same stretch of road, even though I could feel the car moving and hear the engine running. I decided to turn around. I told myself that if I went back the way I came, I'd find something familiar. Primera slowed down, checked the mirrors, and made the turn. The road behind me looked exactly the same. Endless, dark, silent, no lights, no signs, no indication that I had ever been anywhere else. My heart started pounding, and for the first time, I felt truly trapped. After that, the engine sound changed. It didn't stop, but it sounded wrong, strained, unfamiliar. The headlights felt weaker, like they weren't reaching as far as they should. The darkness ahead didn't reflect the light anymore. It seemed thicker, heavier, like it was swallowing everything in front of me. I leaned forward in my seat, trying to see farther, but it didn't help. Then I saw an exit sign. It had no name, no numbers, just an arrow pointing away from the highway. I don't remember deciding to take it. I just did. I turned the wheel and followed it, my heart racing, afraid of what might happen if I didn't. The exit led to a normal road, streetlights, buildings, distant sounds, the kind of things you don't think about until they're gone. I pulled over and checked the clock. For hours had passed. I never found that highway again, and to this day, whenever I drive at night, I avoid empty roads whenever I can.